I'm back. Now listen, I figured I would come on closer to like 3 o'clock in the morning. Excuse me. Because I figured, perhaps I might be a little scarier at this time. Yes, scarier. Now, back to what happened, right? So I went there, was playing around with the Tik Tok filter. Shit was all around me, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't in one place. Now at first, I was just gonna head back over the fence the way I came. Someone's like, maybe you should go see the place you went to first. Sorry about the noise, y'all. Now check this out. What ended up happening, right? So I walked down, and someone said, check the spot. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm looking. All of a sudden, I see this, like, one little, like, if it was an animal, right, it would have been glowing, like, multicolored, red, green, and shit like that, yellow. This was, like, a little white light, but about the size of an eyeball, you know what I'm saying? Or what you would see if you was, like, somebody who had glowing eyes. So at first I just seen one, so I'm looking at it. And I got my little flashlight on, so I'm trying to flash my flashlight towards it, you know what I mean? And that's when I noticed, like, sort of like this all blackish smoke-like figure. Now, as I'm noticing this, right, this mist, you probably don't see it because I got the camera zoomed in way far ahead. But like this mist goes past me to the point where I'm thinking like I'm blowing out breath. Now, understand the significance of that, right? If you're just like out and about, and you're recording something live, you don't expect anything to happen. It was a spur of the moment thing. I was pissed off. I felt like taking a walk, right? Why would you refer to breath? Number one, it's the middle of goddamn summer. You know what I'm saying? Even in 60 or 50 degree weather, you wouldn't see your breath. You know what I mean? And it went past me. It was fucking crazy is it went past me in the same direction, on the same path as the ghost girl, right? Okay, now remember, I went to the cemetery earlier today. When I was looking with the Tik Tok filter around the house, nothing there. But before I go back the second time after I fucked around with that little crypt door, something's around the camera all the time, right? So I'm thinking maybe whatever this was drew me to, the fucking cemetery again. Especially to that spot, which like I told you is fenced off. Well, chained off. It's not like you can't go over the chain, but like, you do that. It's at your own fucking risk. Anyway, so I'm looking at this shit, right? I'm looking at this shit. And it like turns. So now I see two distinct dots. The distance apart that eyes would be. Now, it couldn't have been one of the turkeys because turkeys' eyes wouldn't be in the front of their head, spaced apart that wide. It would have been a lot shorter space. And it didn't like scurry away or peck at the ground. It just looked. And then it rose up. I could see like this blackish, smoky mass, and it just like raised up, and the eyes were higher, and it was looking dead at me. I'm like trying to figure out, am I seeing something or am I just thinking I'm seeing something, right? Now, I'm not one to just say, oh yeah, I seen some shit, just to be saying I seen some shit. Like I said, I'm gonna comb that video over and over again. Now, here's the significance of why I think something did happen, right? I'm looking down there, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that, right? I'm looking, and it's looking at me. And then I notice it's starting to move towards my direction. And not like, it wasn't bopping, you know, like if somebody was walking, you would see like a change in the, you know, height of the eyes. But it wasn't changing, it was just moving towards me. I fucking turned and ran, hopped the fucking fence. I was out with the quickness. Like, it wasn't even that it was super close. I would say maybe it was probably like, if I had to guess distances, I would say maybe about 60 yards away, right? About 60 yards away. Now here's the thing. It wasn't so much how close it was, it's what I felt. Like, I didn't feel anything good was gonna come to me sitting there waiting. And I would have loved to be sure that I got clear footage of it. But something just said, get the fuck out. I bounced. It was funny, as soon as I hopped the fence, my youngest son calls me, right? And I'm talking to him. You can probably hear it. In fact, I think you hear it on the video. Talk to him. My mic is working fine, speaker's working fine. Everything on my phone is working fine, right? Go back to the live stream. Now, there's no audio, right? No audio. What happened to the audio? Audio was working just fine 5 seconds ago. But now there's no audio, right? So I get back to the house, you know, sit down. Try to process what happened. That's when I noticed, like, in the corner of this room right here that I'm in, like by the window, it's like this kind of like, looks like smoke, right? But not thick smoke, not cigarette smoke, just like smoke, just like a misty form, right? It's just sitting there. Just like, maybe it's a shadow of something, but there's nothing that it could be the shadow of. Like, if it was a plant, it would have been a thin thing, not like big, right? Immediately, my whole fucking body is covered in fucking goosebumps, right? Now, this is right before I was doing the live stream, the first YouTube live stream. I didn't want to mention it yet. I'm gonna save it for this one, right? So, what ends up happening is like, it's like this feeling. It's like, not a feeling of dread or anything like it's still in the corner. At least I feel like there's something in the corner, because I feel like somebody's looking at me, like right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know how you get that feeling? Like, you can just feel it. Like, it's like a buzzing sensation, right? Now, I told y'all, the first time I went there, something happened. But I think the second time I went there, something even more happened. Because I'm used to the little like kid that fucks with shit, moves things around. Like, I might be looking for this, and I know where I keep it, because it's always either here or right here on the table. I'll wake up in the morning, that shit'll be across the floor in the kitchen and shit. Like, how the fuck did it get the fuck all the way over there, right? And I don't sleep very long. And I'm not a fucking wild sleeper. When I'm asleep, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like a log, done. No movement, not all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not like I kicked it or some shit. And like I said, it would be right here. But, you know, I don't be thinking about that shit. And it's like certain things, it'll just take away and hide. Like, I'm missing one of my debit cards. I don't really go nowhere. I go to the same places. And I very rarely ever use that debit card for shit. So it's like, how am I missing the one debit card I don't use? Right? You know what I'm saying? Just little shit like that. But here's the story. Now, this is not a true story. So don't take it as being true, all right, y'all? This is just what I think could possibly happen, or what had happened when I opened the gate to purgatory. Immediately upon opening that door, I felt a rush of cold air. It's like a hard rush, almost like a gust of wind. But it was cold. Chilled me to my bones. I was cold to the bone. cold. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on here? I'm not really feeling this. I need some noodles, but that's not what I want to talk about. I'm going to finish telling my story. I'm going to have some noodles, I'm going to go my ass to sleep. But what I want to say is that the feeling of being followed is something that I feel like is happening. Now, I've known there's one that's been following me since I was like fucking 5. You know what I'm saying? I know that. But earlier today, it didn't pop up on the goddamn TikTok shit. Which is why I'm saying that Reality Ripple could potentially just be some phony ass shit set to a particular algorithm to pop every so often. You know what I'm saying? But back to my story. Let me get comfortable for this one. Comfortable. Why don't you all get comfortable as well? I opened the gate, the door, the rush wind, cold air, chilled to the bone. I heard a whisper. Immediately, a feeling of curiosity so strong took over me. I walked slowly, cautiously, into the cold, dark crypt. Immediately upon entering, the door behind me slammed. I turned around, I looked. I tried to open it, but nothing would happen. I kept trying, because it was so dark in there with the door closed. I was fucking scared out of my ass. I mean, like, could you imagine walking into some little fucking crypt? You know there's a dead body in there because it's a goddamn crypt. And now the door has shut mysteriously. Now, I could have assumed that perhaps it was a homeless person, drug addict, just being a dick. But no, it's not what it was. It's not what it was. I felt a tap on my shoulder, like a finger. I didn't want to look around. I mean, I knew what I just walked into. To face something that could physically touch my shoulder in the moment was something that I just couldn't take. And I was terrified. I froze. Immediately, I heard a voice again. Come. You are now with us. The shiver went right down my fucking spine. But I was compelled to turn. I turned around slowly, my whole body. And to my surprise, there was a sky behind it, with stars. There were people walking in the darkness, shuffling about, not really having any particular purpose or meaning. I walked towards the first person I saw, tapped them. My hand immediately went through them. But a tingle of energy, electrical, in its feeling passed through my body quickly. I began at this point to feel that I was not where I was supposed to be. In the distance, I saw a light, a soft, glowing light. It called to me like a moth would be called to bright light on your porch. Or one of those bug zappers that you see down south a lot, constantly going bzzz, because like, I remember one time I was down south when I was like 12, North Carolina. My family down there owned like this whole, they own the street. You know how it is down south. You grew up there and everybody just keeps building houses close to the houses. Anyhow, it was basically like 7 or 8 houses worth of my family on this particular place. And I remember sitting outside. You would constantly hear this thing zap, 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 right? Zap. I remember seeing like a puff flames. Huge ass moth. I mean, this goddamn thing was gigantic. But that's another story. Back to my story of the purgatory. The gate that I opened. I opened it. It closed itself behind me, but what left the cemetery that night, well, it looked like me. It talked like me, but it wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. This creature, this doppelganger of sorts, I call him Asmodeus. Evil incarnate it was. It walked out among the living, craving to bring terror and horror to all those it crossed. I could do nothing more than watch. The world that I was in was almost like walking into the life or mind of fear, loathing, hate, rage, emotional planes. All the thoughts compiled into one large beam of energy. So many negative thoughts had been fueling and eventually spilled out. Getting tired here, but let me finish. Now, Asmodeus, he roamed at night, wreaking havoc, bringing pain, suffering, death to everything that he touched, and he made sure he touched the world. Within a year of his escape, he had plunged the whole entire planet into a war that seemed it would have no end. Death, destruction like none ever seen. Raged. Heads on spikes, bodies strewn in fields of blood, the crows and buzzards picking at the flesh of the dead. I walked across these bodies and I said to myself, God damn, woman, what the fuck? You gotta just simply mind your own goddamn business. This shit wouldn't be happening. Now my intention, obviously, was not to bring forth evil and demons into the world. I was just curious. But the gate has been opened. It's opened. And it can't be closed. Now I ask myself every night, where is Asmodeus?